January 2019, I was working for a company, and a man reached out to that company because I had just started posting on my personal Facebook page and on Instagram and stuff like that, that I was getting into art and I was painting, and he wanted to know if I was interested in painting a painting for him. And long story short, got in contact, and he wanted me to do a painting of the Stearman. And so that was the very first painting that I did that was in full color. It was a huge kind of a milestone for me in my painting career. And over the process of that painting and working on that, I became really good friends with him, and he became one of my best friends. And we've been very good friends ever since. And he has a story that I feel like would be better for him to tell. And that's the story of his best friend. So without further ado, Mark Van Gorder.
The last dog I had was Tyler. I had Tyler for 15 years. Unfortunately, he went the way of most dogs that are 15 years old. Sam was living here at the time, wanted a dog. I was very reluctant to get another dog because obviously the problem with dogs is, in most cases, they don't live as long as you do. So I had pretty much decided not to get another dog. We went and looked at several different pounds in the area and looked at all kinds of dogs. Unfortunately, most of the dogs you find in pounds are some variation of a pit bull. Now, there are many lovely, lovely pit bulls. Just wasn't what I was looking for after having my first dog, who was named Tyler, who was a golden retriever. I developed a phenomenal love for the breed golden retrievers. So after we looked at a bunch of dogs, I went to a friend of mine who I went to college with, who was a local veterinarian, and I said, do you know of anybody in the area who has golden retrievers, maybe a puppy that we could go look at? And he says, you know what, hang on, I'll call you back. Let me check who's got a litter coming due. He says, there's a lady in Kingston right now, called me back, lady in Kingston has one that is 6 or 7 in the litter, 3 are spoken for. He said she still has some that are available. So I said, well, you know what? I said, I'm not ready to buy one yet. However, they came highly recommended because the vet did all the work on their dogs. So I highly recommended. Okay, great. So I told Sam, who was obviously very excited. So we decided we were going to go up and take a look at these dogs. Now, between you and me, you don't go to look at puppies and come home. Okay? If you have any heart at all, you'll be leaving with a dog. Somehow, you'll be leaving with a dog. So we go up with a complete idea of looking at dogs, see what they look like, see which ones are available, and deciding if one of these may or may not be the ticket. So out they came, lived in the lady's house. There was no kennel involved. As you open the door with what was 6, 7, don't know exactly how many puppies, the smell of ammonia knocked you down. You walked in the front door and you just kind of fell back. There was 10 or 12 candles going in there, didn't work. So in we go, we're sitting there, and Sam's like, his eyes are tearing up. He goes, it smells really bad. I said, yeah, no, this is not good. So when you have a litter of puppies, what they usually will do is put ribbons on them so you can tell, because they all golden retriever puppies kind of look the same. So she said, this one's available, this one's available, this one's available, this one's available. So we're looking around. So I've always thought, right or wrong, that if you take a puppy, because I wanted something that was laid back. You're not going to ever protect your house with a golden retriever. The golden retriever will help the person in the door, okay? So if you have a burglar coming to your door, he will greet them, show you where the TV is, where the VCR is, okay? And if there's any cash, he'll take them to that. So they're not very good for protecting anything. So I decided I wanted something very laid back. And I was always told that you take a dog, you put him upside down. If he stays there, they got a good personality. First one just about ripped my arm off trying to get back over. So we got to the last one, which happened to be the one we ended up getting. And he held him upside down. He fell asleep. I said, my dog, just like me. So we're looking at him. I said, I'm very interested in this one. I said, give me a minute. And I said, at that point in time, I was getting a little nauseous from the smell inside. So Sam and I went outside, and I said, what do you think? Do you want to get one of these or not? He goes, we got to get it right now. Somebody else is going to get it. Okay. I said, well, nobody else is going to get it if we tell them we won't. But let's let it think about it over. No, we got to take it with us now. Long story short, wrote a check, got the dog. So, get the dog, get ready to go home. I'm holding the dog. The lady who gave us the dogs and stuff took a bunch of pictures as we were leaving. Hold the dog up. Let us take a picture of you and the dog as you're leaving, right? So I said, okay. So we're holding the dog. I'm holding the dog. And I go over to the car to come home, take the dog, go to hand it to Sam so I can drive home. Sam looks at the dog, goes, I can't hold him. I said, what? He said, I don't want to touch him. Oh, good. This is good. I just spent $1,200 on the dog you won't touch. I said, aren't you the one that wanted the dog? Oh, no, I want the dog. You didn't touch him. Yeah, gotta touch him. Needless to say, Sam drove home and I carried the dog home. So we got the dog home. Training started, which golden retrievers are so easy to train. You hit them, put them outside, and you're done. From then on, they go to the door to go outside. I live in a relatively small little neighborhood, probably quarter, half acre tops, most of the houses. You take the dog out, you put him on a leash, you walk him around the perimeter of your property. As if he goes farther, you give him a jerk. From then, I could open the door and he wouldn't leave the property. There could be 14 dogs in the middle of the road. He'd go to the end of the grass and stop. Would not go out in the road. So it was hot in here. So he would then say, it's hot in here.
You better hurry up.
So, there's a lot more to this. So, came back. Of course, Sam got used to the dog, loved the dog, everything else. So, everything went kind of smooth. I used to work at a car dealership when we had a midnight blast sale, which means you were there till midnight, and people assumed they're going to get a better price at 11 o'clock than they are at 7 o'clock in the evening. Nah, not the case. But whatever. So I'm sitting there. It's about 10:30, 11 o'clock. We're starting to get going. I get a call from Sam. All right, who's home? He goes, you got to get home right away. I go, what's the matter? He says, the dog ate all your bullets. I said, beg your pardon? He said, you had your gun bag there from the range. I said, yeah. He got into it and he ate all the bullets. I said, I find that highly unlikely, but what? He says, the dog ate half of the bag and there's a bunch of bullets gone out of the box that the bullets come in. I said, you gotta be kidding me. He goes, no. I said, I'll be right home, right? So he said, don't hang up. He said, I want you to go directly to the vet. There was an all-night vet. I said, okay, fair enough. So I left there. He left with the dog. We went to the vet. So we told the vet, listen, we think that he maybe have gotten into some stuff, right? And the guy, of course, what is it? He goes, well, quite possibly bullets. Of course, the veterinarian was a little confused. So we explained it to him. So he goes, okay. He goes, give me a dog. Let's do some x-rays first. He comes out a couple minutes later. Dog's still in there. He goes, they're bullets. He actually ate bullets. He said, there's 3 or 4 of them in there. I can't see them. But yeah, there's bullets. He said, how did he eat bullets? Not 100% sure. Okay. He goes, well, here's what I want to do. I'm going to try to get him to vomit them up. If they won't come out that way, he says, then we have to do surgery because obviously we have to get the bullets out. Somebody spanks him on the butt, boom. So, and he said, that's probably not going to work. So he said, we got to get him out. You can't have him walking around with live ammunition in him, right? I'm good with that. So he goes back in and he attempts to get him to vomit these things out. So 45 minutes go by. So at that point in time, we're just assuming that he's going to come out and say, look, we started surgery. So he comes out with this little clear plastic bag with 4 9mm bullets in it and assorted pieces of plastic and stuff like this. And he goes, you can actually take him home. I said, are you kidding? He goes, no. He said, we just did another x-ray and everything came out. I said, oh, thank God, right? He was maybe a year old at the time. And I said, I said, there's no problem. And he said, nope. He said, he's fine. He said, he's going to be a little dopey for a while. I said, well, with the golden retriever, it's a little hard to tell, you know. So he says, okay. So we get ready to leave. And I said, how much is it? He goes, $1,875. I said, we've been here 2 hours. He said, yeah, but it's 11 o'clock at night, you know, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. So that was the first major issue. Other than that, he was actually very, very good. He didn't get into a lot. He didn't bother anybody. As he started getting older, he slowed down. You know, in between this, Sam ended up moving out, getting married, having a son of his own. And I said, what happened is he learned to love the dog so much. He now has 3 dogs. So he's learned to touch them. I was sitting there one day brushing him, and I found a little small bump on him. Golden retrievers are very, very prone to cancer. So when you see one of these, you panic. He was 13, maybe? So I took him in during the pandemic, which means you had to pull in, wait in your car, and you know, a vet tech would come out. You couldn't go in. You had to take the dog in. Bip, 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 bip. So they come out, take the dog, bring him in. And they said, okay, we're going to do some testing to see what it is. There's definitely a bump there. She said, I don't believe it is a lymphoma, which is just a fatty pocket. She said, I think there's more to it. It feels more granular. I said, great. So she says, we're going to do a biopsy. I said, okay. So they do the biopsy. They come walking back out. They said, it's definitely cancer. I said, okay, what do we do? She goes, well, she said, the only thing we can do is try to remove it. She said, there's nothing else you can do. She said, if you remove it and you get most of it or all of it, she said, you know, at his age, it may come back, it may not come back. It's hard to say. I said, okay. So we took him in, and they did the surgery. It took 2 days, and he came home. Didn't look good, not feeling good, but he was getting better. He was able to go out and everything else. He ended up with, I'm going to say, 25 bumps on him in a matter of 3 weeks. They said, there's nothing you can do. So at that point in time, they said, he may have a little time left. Use it the best you can. I said, at what point in time is it going to start hurting him? She goes, it's hard to tell. I said, is it possible now? She goes, possible. So at that point in time, it was pretty much determined that that was time. I ended up having a vet come to the house, put him down, and that's Crusoe.